when I was a kid, I had all these imaginary playmates like Walter Pidgeon and Claudette Colbert and Greer Garson. And if I was in a really esoteric toddler mood, Gail Sondergaard.
I have a flipper. It's a straight line, right? A number of years ago, I knocked out these two front teeth with a microphone at a club called the Good Times, which you may not remember, on 31st Street. A misnomer for sure. And so these two are not real. These, however, are. So I had to get a flipper, which is a little bridge with two teeth here, and you glue in this part. Okay. Well, it just so happens that I get a call to open for Jay Leno in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, which is great, except that afternoon I had cracked my flipper. Now, I can't turn the gig down, so I get on the plane and go right to Oklahoma. I don't know if you know this or not, but it is impossible to get a cracked flipper fixed at night in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So you know that. Well, so I lay on the glue, lay it on, and I go on stage, and it was okay. Got in the way of my timing just a little bit. You know, my boyfriend loves sports. I always know it's football season, because after we make up, he goes like this. So it's good. Okay. I do pretty well. He goes on, then I go off stage, and he's being interviewed by a local TV station, and he invites me over to be in the interview. Very nice of him to do that, but by this time all the glue has melted, and I'm holding the flipper on with my tongue. So the interviewer says, well, Adrianne, what's it like being a woman comic on the road? And I say, well, actually, if you're funny enough, people are quite kind. Meanwhile, the glue has melted. I have no makeup left on my chin at all. All been drooled away. So the next day I get the thing fixed. I do the rest of the week with Jay. I never did as well as I did that first night. And I go up to him at the end of the week. I said, I don't understand why I didn't do as well. And he said, you never should have gotten it fixed. And I said, why? Why not? He said, because you sounded like me when we were.
To keep me away from the kiddie matinees and essentially anchor me in place, I was assigned the accordion under the tutelage of Mrs. Elsie Sorensen, a former guard at Bergen-Belsen. I was costumed in a ruffled shirt, lederhosen, an alpine hat with a feather, and ordered to appear on parade floats with the rest of Elsie's all-star accordion band. And Elsie would conduct wearing her best bun and armband. And her husband, Ed, drove the float, and he was kind of a speed freak, and it could be a very, hair-raising, off-key experience to be racing across an intersection to catch up with a Deutschland Forever baton corps. In my 2 horrifying accordion years, I finally did manage to master Der Wiener Schnitzel polka, and I was only pulled off a float and beaten up twice.
And I did shows with people taking medication while I'm on. Catskills, the Catskills. I worked a little resort that was not even it was in the foothills of the Catskills, wasn't in the Catskills. And the guy who owned the joint was such a cheap bastard. His nephew was on his visual aid squad in high school, so he hooked up the microphone system, which also went to the PA out on the grounds. So I'd be doing, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I hear, blood pressure will be taken in the Jolie Lounge Free juice. Yeah. I get off stage one night. One night wasn't too bad. I get off stage and this couple is coming towards me, and the woman is this giant woman with tons of jewelry on. She had a thing around her neck, the hope bead. You know, this big thing here. Plumes and with the husband, poor guy, the husband's all beige. You know, she'd sucked the ectoplasm out of him all these years. The man hasn't finished a meal or a sentence in 35 years. Come on, Harold, come on. No. She comes barreling towards me. You're very funny. You should work my condominiums in Florida. I said, well, that's a tough audience. She said, so you'll work a little harder. It'll kill you. Thank you. Finally, I give in to working these joints, and what I do is I would tell a joke that I knew they would know the punchline to, so we could all say it at the end. You know, a politician goes to a nursing home, goes up to a woman who's 101, got to make it older than the audience, goes up to a woman who's 101. And says, darling, do you know who I am? And she says, no, but if you go up to the desk, they'll be happy to tell you. Comedy karaoke.
Yeah. Well, I finally run away to New York, and the bus is $90, but I got 80 and change, but a big smile. And finally get here, bright lights, big city, and my first job, I am a movie usher at the Cornet Theater on 3rd Avenue. And I'm working the night of the premiere of The Graduate, and they give me a new tuxedo to wear. And about halfway through the picture, complete unknown, Dustin Hoffman comes downstairs to the lobby to bum a cigarette from me. He's a wreck. I have no idea who he is, complete unknown. And we smoke my whole package of Parliaments. And I say, don't worry, I've been to a million of these, you're going to be fine. And about an hour later, the movie breaks. Suddenly, Dustin Hoffman is the biggest star in the world. I mean, everybody is rushing up to him. He stops to introduce me to his parents and his fiancée. Well, I'm so caught up in the moment, I hop in the limo on the way to the after party. I'm in a tuxedo. I get fired.
I joined an age-appropriate improv group.
That's where we first met.
That's right.
Yeah, we did our first improv together.
I was an egg and a skillet, or you were...
I think I was a skillet. Yes,
right,
yes.
Right.
And, Adrianne, do you remember that night? We had a full house, and they were all deaf. And we didn't know it, and we thought it was us.
It was.
Yeah. But you were the funniest one. I thought you should go out on your own and do stand-up always.
You wrote my first joke.
Well, I had a typewriter.
Well, it just keeps getting better. I'm in Newsweek magazine. Double-page spread, one of the new queens of comedy. Picture, everything. And I call up my mother in California, Ma, I'm in Newsweek magazine, one of the new queens of comedy. Oh, you know, we don't get Newsweek here, darling. You know, we live in a gated community.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adrianne Tolsch and Piazza.